What's going on, everyone, and welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. Today, we're taking a look at one of the most meta Titan builds that I have ever used. So, gone are the days of Storm's Keep Arc Titan because this build makes any in-game activity a walk in the park. So, if you want a build that can do insane damage, an incredible job at ad clear, and take care of every single champion at the same time, then this build is for you. And the best part, you don't need to farm any raids, dungeons, or GMs for anything in this loadout. So let's break it down. So for the loadout, yes, we are running double special, but if you do play this build even remotely aggressive, you are not going to need to worry about the ammo economy. In our top slot, we are going to be using the Strand rocket assisted sidearm, the Call. This is craftable and has the ability to roll with Slice, which gives you the ability to sever targets after you use your barricade, which makes enemies deal 40% less damage to you. We're also going to pair this with Desperate Measures. You can proc ×1 with a weapon final blow, giving you a 10% increase to damage for 7 seconds, and ×2 with a grenade or a melee defeat, which will give you a 20% increase to damage. And if you get a second melee kill ×2 active, you will proc ×3 for Desperate Measures, giving you an insane 30% increase to damage for 7 seconds. And by using Piercing Sidearm on your artifact mod, you're going to have the ability to stun barrier champions. Next up, for our exotic of choice, we are opting to go with Lord of Wolves. This is performing insane right now. If you have been living under a rock, now you haven't. Because with Release the Wolves getting a rework and always being active just by hip firing, you are going to do insane damage to everything. And if you have the Catalyst, not only do you get increased stability and max reload, but Release the Wolves will also scorch targets. This exotic shotgun is incredible right now, and it's in so many top tier builds for a very good reason. Just try it out for yourself and you will see why. For our heavy, we're going to build into Void with a heavy machine gun. If you have a good roll, or if you have the ability to craft Corrective Measure from the Vault of Glass, that is what I would recommend. Because currently, with the Time Lost Artifact perk, Legend Incarnate, it increases the damage and it overcharges the weapon. If you don't have one, feel free to grab Hammerhead, which still has an insanely good perk pool like Rampage in the first slot and Desperate Measures in the second. Or you could do something like Envious Assassin and Killing Tally. There is a lot of good perks here. And it can be easily attuned and farmed just by playing Onslaught. But if you do want to run the best machine gun for this build, I would highly recommend getting yourself a Corrective Measure from Vault of Glass. Whether it's crafted or not, you're still going to have that increase to damage with the Artifact perk. And if you need someone to run the raid with, if you've never done it before, check out our Discord below or stop by our stream at twitch.tv/JamesTheAvatar, and we will help you run the raid for the very first time, or hell, help you farm for it. Now that we've gotten the loadout out of the way, let's talk about our subclass. We are on Prismatic Titan because the ability to go Transcendent, along with our exotic of choice, and the mods that we're going to be using, it's going to have insane ability uptime and regeneration. So, of course, let's talk about the aspects. We are going with the classic Consecration and Knockout. It's there for a reason. It is utterly fantastic still because the synergy between these are just way too good to pass up. Consecration will allow us to turn our powered melee into a wave of solar energy that damages and scorches targets, but also can ignite anything in its path. And thanks to our melee of choice, Frenzied Blade, we're going to have 3 charges to use. Plus, by getting any melee defeat when we're critically wounded or by breaking an enemy shield, we're going to proc Knockout. This is going to do 2 things. First, defeating a target will make us amplified, giving us a 15% reduction to damage. Also, it'll make us faster when you're running. Super fun. I hate running slow. But at the same time, it's going to restore a portion of your health. So damage resistance, survivability with health regeneration, you really can't go wrong with this pairing. But now for the grenade, I prefer to use a Shackle Grenade because you do have the ability to not only stun unstoppable champions, but also to suspend pretty much any enemy. And honestly, it's an S tier pick, especially if you want to stun overload champions and then you want to suspend them to give yourself even greater time to defeat them before they go back and unstun. You can do the same thing with barriers. It's a fantastic choice. But for our super, There's a few great options that you can use. First up being glacial quake. This is by far the most forgiving. It does the most damage, but you could also opt to go with something like Thunder Crash as well for a quick one and done super that does tremendous damage, which I honestly rotate between depending on the activity I'm doing. If it's an enemy that's a boss that's on the ground mostly, I'm pretty much going to go with Glacial Quake. It has great survivability, great use for ad clear when you want to pop it, plus it does just do insane damage. Now, let's tie this build together beautifully with some standout fragments. Since you have the ability to play extremely aggressive with this build, we are going to toss on Facet of Protection for 15% reduction to damage, then Facet of Purpose to gain Frost Armor every time we pick up an Orb of Power, which Frost Armor can actually stack up to, I believe, 5 times when you're using Prismatic, which will just give you more survivability. Next, since we're building heavily into the abilities, we're going to be using Facet of Balance, which honestly is anything but balanced because this is going to give us melee energy when we rapidly defeat enemies with light damage, which our concentration counts as. It's going to synergize perfectly with that. It does give you darkness energy when you get kills with grenades, but that's really irrelevant here because we are using Shackle, so don't worry about it. We're going for the light melee damage. And when we're using both Glacial Quake and Consecration, going with the Facet of Ruin is a must. This is going to not only increase the size and damage of our shatters for stasis crystals, but also the area of effect from our ignitions, which is just a fantastic option when you run those two together. And then lastly, we are opting to go with Facet of Courage. This is going to allow our Arc, Solar, or Void abilities to do increased damage to targets afflicted with a Darkness debuff, meaning suspended, unraveled, severed, our Consecration is going to do more damage. Nothing wrong with that. So you could also do Glacial Quake, freeze them, severed from your rocket side. You get where we're going here. It's utterly fantastic. But now let's talk about the cherry on top of this build that's going to make you feel like a lore-accurate Guardian. Spirit of Inmost Light and Spirit of Contact. Yes, we are using an exotic Titan Mark. It's worth it. Go get yourself one if you haven't already. If you need one to farm, let us know. We can help. But with Spirit of Inmost Light, this is going to allow us to empower and recharge our abilities faster just by using all of our abilities. It has an insanely high uptime for your grenade, your melee, and your barricade. And then there's Spirit of Contact. When the normal version of this exotic really never got the spotlight, this version, honestly, in my opinion, is far superior in every way, even beating out Spirit of Syntheseps. This is going to allow your powered melee to cause lightning strikes and jolt nearby targets, making it fantastic for ad clear, plus it can stun overload champions. And I've tried many different combinations, but this one with Spirit of Inmost and Spirit of Contact definitely takes the cake and is far worth the grind to go get it. But now for the mods that help us tie everything together. On our helmet, we are going with Strand Siphon to generate orbs with our sidearm, Special Ammo Finder to get more ammo for the sidearm, then Heavy Handed to gain bonus super energy on those powered melee kills. For the gauntlets, we are going to be using 2 Heavy Handed mods to create orbs of power and reduce the cooldown when we get a kill with our powered melee. Then there's Focusing Strike to gain class ability energy when causing damage with our powered melee. Chest piece, we always recommend using resistance mods to match any activity that we're playing. If you're struggling with ammo, feel free to put on a solar or a strand reserve mod, depending what you're using, Lord of Wolves or the Call More. That can definitely help play into the ammo economy if you're struggling with that. For the legs, we do have on a strand scavenger to pick up more sidearm ammo because we do use that more as a primary. Then there's Orbs of Restoration, which will help provide energy to our ability with the least amount of energy. Then Better Already to begin health regen when we pick up an Orb of Power. For our class item, we are opting to go with Reaper to create that Orb of Power on a weapon final blow after we cast our barricade, Special Ammo Finisher to generate special ammo for the entire fire team when we use our finisher, and then there's Outreach to generate melee energy when we use our barricade, which just feeds back into our gauntlet perks. It's utterly fantastic. You pair all of that with Inmost Light, your ability uptime is going to be insanely high. But there you have it, folks, a top tier meta Titan build that can tackle any in-game content, but it's also extremely fun to use at the same time. Like we said above, this is going to make you feel like a lore accurate Guardian no matter your skill level, because trust me, I die a lot in in-game content, but this build has me feeling unstoppable. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're returning, welcome back, we appreciate you. And comment down below if you're gonna give this a try. There will be a dim link for it right in the description below here. But until then, Guardians, I will catch you in the next one.